Well, we are loaded into our second series of the day. I am actually quite surprised that we're starting on this map. I'm surprised we're going to see this map is here. Wow, Secret Springs. Actually, yeah, for some reason this comes to my attention earlier than any player introduction would.
Secret Springs, yeah. So spawning in the top right of Secret Spring as the Blue Terran, we do have MarineLorD.
MarineLorD. His opponent in the west position. The red Protoss, I'm not actually sure what NB is, but he's PtitDrogo. Do you know NB?
I do not know NB.
Just the pronunciation that reminds me of Envy, because I was thinking about Violet who tweeted us earlier.
NB,
He's a
NB.
nice guy.
PtitDrogo, though. He plays for Team Baguette in the Clan War.
Oh, yeah, the Alliance of Frenchies.
Yeah, the Alliance of Frenchies. So, like, the Frenchies that we talked about, and also the inclusion of DNS, I do believe, who's also a decent French player. From AAA, I believe.
Nice.
So what's happening here? We have MarineLorD opening with a scout to depot at the top of his ramp, totally normal.
We don't see this. We haven't seen this map too much, especially not in WCS. I think Bunny and Mana played one game on it.
I saw it in a game that happened on Esports SM, maybe like
I saw it on the Swedish championships. It happened in the semifinals last night, I think.
Yeah, and it's a freaking crappy map, man.
Yeah. I think I watched Naniwa play on it.
Yeah. Oh, he cheesed me.
He proxied his opponent, and his opponent proxied him.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
I like to leave out the fact that I cheesed him too, but yeah. So what's happening? Like, two very standard builds by both these players. The Reaper Expand against the one gas expand. So where does this really lead up? I'm kind of surprised that this... Okay, I was about to say, I thought there was a Reaper getting to his base so early with the blue dot on the map, but yeah, I was about to say, that is such a late expo and such an early Reaper, but no, not at all. This is totally timed out. Usually, you get the Nexus starting at the same time as the command center. The reason that he's brought up a second probe here is just to harass this SCV and just get him out of the way quicker.
Well, the thing is, and in case any of you guys tuning in aren't aware, the SCV has 5 more hit points than a probe. So if you don't send a second probe and you try to just fight the SCV head on, it will actually kill your probe.
You lose the battle.
Yeah, so that's the second one just makes that a lot easier to do. So now the Reaper's going to show up as the command center starts back home. He's going to try to deal some damage.
He's going to get at least one probe here.
Oh, nice! As a Terran, one probe kill I think is like, you usually feel really good if you can get that.
Right, because the Reaper, you don't get the Reaper to get probes. You get the Reaper because it's a scout, so it's an early game scout, but also it's a, hey, I'm going to scout which tech you're going to get, be it Twilight Council, Robo, or Stargate. So the fact that you get to do any additional like damage with that Reaper, which additional damage is killing probes.
Just like having your cake and being able to eat it. It's pretty nice.
Right, it's awesome. So Drogo here, he's got 3 guys on one gas, 2 guys on the other. I believe that is intentional, and if MarineLorD does get to see this, this is usually very indicative of a player going for Twilight Council.
He doesn't see anything yet, and there's nothing to be seen, but it will be a robotics facility thrown down.
Very safe play by Drogo.
Yeah.
Extremely safe, and
tucked far enough away in the back of his main that the Reaper, if he goes close enough to see it, should be able to kill it as well. Important to note.
Now, to talk about both these players' builds, MarineLorD, he's been going factory openings, like follow-ups after this Reaper, far, far less these days. So what does that mean he's better against? Well, I suppose it means he's better against Stargate openings in general.
Yeah.
Due to having like more Marines in your base at a time. But MarineLorD, is he going to get in and scout this? If he does, then he's going to feel very happy upon seeing that.
He sees it, he clicks on it, he knows it's a robo facility. That's always a comforting thing to be able to just check that off, especially when you're playing TV.
Oh, is he going to get another probe? I think he... Wow.
2 more probe kills, actually.
Great start by MarineLorD. And what's his
He's following
here?
us up with concussive shell, actually. He's going to make an aggressive push soon.
And this is kind of smart. Like on this map, it's a good map for pushing because the main is so open.
Yeah, the Nexus cannon, if you overcharge your main Nexus on this map, it actually doesn't reach this ramp. So
you still have room to move about.
Most Protoss players, because of the popularity of the factory openings, like to open up with a lot of Stalkers. So there's no sentry. He can't force field him.
Oh,
it's going to get ugly.
Look how Drogo's playing, too. He's getting a Forge after getting a Robo.
Oh, that Observer just missed the army, too. Oh, he sees it now.
But he's got no sentry at the top of the ramp, so he's getting a Forge after his Robo. So incredibly Safe play against Widow Mines here.
Tags the Stalker
bam,
with the concussive shell.
Oh, we can...
Easy peasy.
Oh, now look, he's at the top of the ramp still.
I mean, you could
Ooh,
even he could
down.
even try to squeeze his way around towards the natural and just fully commit, but he's glad to pick up the Stalker for now. Is he going to? Yeah, there's a pylon there.
Free pylon. Why not? And I mean,
so come a little closer, Mr. Stalker, friend.
And
of course, once the Marauder's dead, this does get a lot easier to deal with.
Great tag there by killing the Marauder first, and now we can actually pick this apart with.
And now you can just kite the Marines forever. You should be able to kill all these if he really tries.
So an unusual opening by MarineLorD here, but the concussive shell, as we saw, can be quite useful. Bam, getting these observers. Man, MarineLorD very active about sniping observers.
Yeah, 2 picked off right at the start of this game. Has he even gotten to see? Okay, 1 observer eventually did make it into his base. So
one thing I would like to note about both these players. So MarineLorD, when he plays, he actually uses a scroll function to zoom in and out to see observers much better. I saw that on his stream quite often. So yeah, if you're wondering, how does this guy see these invisible units? Well, you look for a little blur, but also he uses the camera function to really kind of zoom in to see if there is more of a blur. He actually makes the camera move itself, so yeah, the blur becomes that much more apparent.
It's pretty sick. He's a very acutely aware man. The thing here, as Blink starts, gets another observer.
Gets another observer.
Well, I don't build observers versus this guy. Just kill him. Try to kill him before you get observers, I guess.
Right, so Stimpak's almost done. Gets his second tech lab on a barracks after his stim's almost done, if you want to think about timings.
Yeah, so we can agree this was a pretty good start this game for MarineLorD.
Yeah, I mean, killed a Stalker, killed 3 probes with his Reaper. If he didn't get that Reaper damage done, I'd actually say it was pretty okay for PtitDrogo as well. Just losing 1 Stalker for like a Marine, or for a Marauder and like 3 or 4 Marines, I think that was okay. But with the Reaper damage done as well.
And all these observers killed too.
Oh, I forgot about all the observers. Yeah, it's,
he has no map vision now. He's kind of just sitting there in the dark.
He's just hoping not to get attacked. So 3 observers, 3 probes, and a Stalker for, yeah, 5 Marines, a Marauder, and a Reaper.
Is that a probe going to the 3rd base? So he's trying to start a Nexus?
It looks like he wanted to,
There's 1 Marine here.
Hello.
1 badass. He's like,
come to Papa.
You're mine.
And I mean, this is such a nasty spot for Drogo, because if he moves out, this army could actually just
I think he could
jump. Donk him.
He could collapse on this and just kill it.
Has to be careful, though, because he doesn't have combat shields.
Oh, there we go. The Time Warp very, very well placed to stop them from advancing with a Colossus. Well, that could have been a lot worse, actually, for PtitDrogo. There's many Protosses have just kind of died when stuff like that happens, but 2 more medevacs being sent. And it looks like they're going to reinforce this army.
So what's happening at home for MarineLorD? So he's got Marauders being produced, a 3rd base being produced. He actually has his 4th and 5th barracks up, so he's planning to play very, very aggressive here. And look at this drop at the 3rd. So yeah, he's got
Widow Mines of this too.
Yeah,
he's
trying to put pressure on over here, so like he can drop the main from here, which Drogo knows about. And while he did that, he's kind of being the puppet master right now. Hey, look at this while I do this. So really smart play. Leaves a Widow Mine there.
Yeah. To block the base. Very smart.
He's kind of like, oh, I'll leave that behind. Going to drop again. So lots of drop play.
Ooh. Oh. Boom. Gets the Stalker. That's nice. And he has to bring one of those very limited observers over to this base.
Oh, man. Yeah.
How many observers are on the map right now? Still has 3. I'm kind of surprised that with all that he's lost, he's been able to squeeze out this many while getting Colossi.
I don't think he... Okay, so he sees this drop now. And what's his army doing? His army's kind of on the middle of the map here. He wants to clear out his own 3rd, wants to defend against these drops. He's got a drop in his natural, he's got a drop in his main. MarineLorD's all over the place here.
Yeah, he's just absolutely manhandling him at this point. And Mothership Core is going to come over to overcharge the natural, but he's going to perhaps just kill the robotics facility. Yeah, Warp Prism. Oh, good blink, though. Gets the full medevac, so no survivors.
That was a really good quality blink. He needed something like that to get him back in this game. Or when I say back in this game, yeah, he's very far behind. Look at his mineral count. Look at his gas count. He can't put down this 3rd. He's trying to put down a cannon to get vision over here. Like, he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and he sees that. He's like, yeah, nice try, buddy.
I'll kill that. Oh, you won't cancel either? Yeah. Lots of Stalkers being warped in. Yes, he's got blink and such, and... You know,
he blinks and loses another star.
Oh, it's like, yeah, I'm going to blink it. Oh, that's kind of one of those moments where you realize what you've done like a moment too late, blinking into a unit like that. Yeah. So the Robo has to be remade, so no more Colossi joining the fray. So, despite the fact that I think... Oh, by the way, one thing that we haven't mentioned, MarineLorD hasn't actually gone about taking his third base yet. Like, he's got it, but he hasn't floated it. Oh, he's going for this base, okay. He's going to actually have his Warp Prism revealed here by these SVs trying to mine.
But he should have, like, a really, really... he's got a nice army supply advantage, but, like, he's... how many Vikings does he have is what I really like to know.
I think about 6. Okay, so we have 4
Just
here.
4.
He's been relying on one starport for a long time here.
Yeah, and that hurts with all the drops that he threw around, because he doesn't have a crazy number of medevacs anymore either.
No, no. But his army's still incredibly strong.
Okay, 4 is alright, I guess, for this point.
So 60 SVs is a good count. Usually Terran don't really like to go beyond 65 in this matchup, as that does saturate 3 bases pretty nicely. That being said, you can always go for the... Oh, takes down that with a few Zealots in it.
That sucks.
You can always go for the cast style where you go for like 75 SVs and just plan on making huge armies with huge infrastructure and you just keep on trading and trading and trading with your opponent rather than having one big bulky army.
Yeah. Charge starts up in +2 armor. The armory did just finish for MarineLorD, I believe, so yeah.
So +2/+2. Right now, given that he's pumped all that gas into those upgrades, I suppose he can even afford a Ghost Academy sometime pretty shortly. Turret at the front, that was hopefully fend for observers.
So he's moving his army around the south side of the map, and he does have something here to spot the rocks being broken down. He's got some pylons strewn about. He's going to get to work on that. 4 Vikings being produced at a time right now, though, is going to allow him to catch up quite fast as far as being able to deal with those Colossi. But to the switch, anything like Storm hasn't happened, and he somehow squeezes 2 Widow Mines in that just wiped out the main base mineral line.
Man, like, these Widow Mine drops from players have got so much better recently. Like, even if they're scouted, if you get one explosion that kills, let's say, 5 probes, 6 probes, you're in great shape. And here, MarineLorD just showing us how it's done. Just get that in that main, despite the cannon, bam, you get it done.
Wow, this is really nice. Pick up 3 Stalkers, scanning ahead. He's like, okay, is there any Colossi waiting for me?
4th base going down, Ghost Academy, 3 extra barracks. MarineLorD's looking really, really good here.
Yeah, this is a gargantuan force that he has ready to push. 2/2 is not done just yet, but, I mean, against just +2 armor for PtitDrogo.
Is there an engagement going on? Does look like a few Stalkers do fall to their doom. A maxed out MarineLorD against a rather dwindling PtitDrogo.
Yeah, the Vikings are just going to focus down these Colossi. 2 dead. The next wave of Vikings is coming in, and the Colossi are... They're falling. There's only 1 left now as the Vikings do fall down, but I think just gateway units against an army like this with that max out force that you mentioned should be enough to clear out the majority of this. There's not too many Zealots left either to actually tank for these Stalkers.
I mean, the bank's still there for PtitDrogo to reinforce with units, and MarineLorD is wearing thin here, so PtitDrogo going for the offensive blink, but more reinforcements just in time.
Yeah, great push down the map by MarineLorD. He does still have, of course, the 3rd base, PtitDrogo, that is. So the only thing that sucks for MarineLorD is that his 2/2 finishes as this fight ends. So basically his whole army is much more powerful now, but there's not much of an army left.
I mean, it was either you wait while you're maxed with this 2/2 on the way, or you give your opponent time to get 20 supply extra, whereas your army's not growing, it's just going to get an upgrade advantage. So, you know, it's kind of a trade-off here, and MarineLorD decided to take it.
And he killed all the expensive units, you know.
Right,
and if you're
traded well.
You know, upgrade-wise, this is not a bad position to be in versus Zealots, especially since you're on even attack and armor upgrades. But
I gotta say, like, despite how well all the early game went for him, for MarineLorD that is, and all the harass and what have you, like, the only thing that really went badly was when he got that full medevac snipe.
Yeah.
But this is still pretty darn close between these 2 players. Like,
it's closer than I expected. I thought MarineLorD would have been able to shut him out a little bit faster.
Yeah, it just shows that PtitDrogo's macro did not slip at all. And in fact, when I say it didn't slip, his 3rd was very late, but obviously his crisis management was very good because right now he's running very smoothly. He's got Storm almost done. He's got 3 armor on the way. He's got his 4th base on the way. Like, his army's very small here, and he will be in trouble if MarineLorD chooses to pressure him. But Storm did just finish.
And he's trying to pull away just a few units to try and snap up 1 or 2 of these High Templar. And if you eliminate the Storm from the equation, then his army looks like he has a pretty solid chance of actually taking him out. But the 3-3 is going to be done from MarineLorD in time for the +3 armor of PtitDrogo. So no more upgrade advantages at all in this game for the Protoss player.
One thing that is very nice that we do have to mention is, like, Drogo got this 2-2 upgrade, kind of, not lead, so to speak, but this 2-2, well, he has 2-2 upgrades just off one forge.
Yeah.
So he didn't put those extra resources into another forge or getting all these upgrades out early. He realized, hey, my opponent's actually an aggressive guy, and if I go double forge against a guy that's just pure aggression, like a whirlwind aggressive player, I'm going to die. So it shows that Drogo actually does kind of know his opponent here too. This drop, though, this is scary.
3 medevacs making their way towards the north side of the main.
Oh,
Observer
he's just spotted by one of these
starts
obs.
to warp in some stalkers.
Oh, just kind of fly by the observer again. I mean, this is quite a bit left behind here to deal with that, but with no storm, Bio trades with this very well.
Yeah.
Oh, do have a planetary nexus on the way too.
Mothership
Oh,
Court
goes to the
time
Time
warps
Warp.
it, and he's just going to try to focus on the medevacs with the High Templar. Drops the Storm. Ooh.
Gets out of there.
Say, those medevacs do barely escape. That could have been, I mean, if you lose all of that, then that's when you're close to just hating your life.
EMPs. The High Templar.
He's gotten the majority of the storms removed from the equation, taking a lot of the shields off the Zealots. The 1 Templar is striding forward, though. Could get that money storm on this army, continuing to spread back. MarineLorD does eat some. The next
second
storm.
one was good. Second one was good. And these Zealots, in fact, this composition right here with Immortals, Zealots, this is a murderous army. This is doing so much damage, and with a very heavy Marauder composition, these Immortals eat through it.
Yeah, he's absolutely shrekking this army. Stims again. It's so weak. Cloaks the ghosts, but even though he got the Observer, so 1 ghost is left behind cloaked.
Supply-wise, this looks like it's good for MarineLorD, but he's the one being pushed back. Did PtitDrogo just overextend here?
The cloaking on the ghosts was so nice. He snipes all the observers again, and look at this 1 ghost here as he runs out of energy. He's been sitting here wailing away.
Man,
16 hit points, boys.
What a close fight that was. But MarineLorD, with this drop on the other side, going to be reinforcing over here, and I think he realizes, hey, I think I can break this 4th if I just gather my units together and really, really go for it. But has he hit the timing? It looks like he might have done here, taken down 2 Stalkers straight away.
Yeah, he's moving forward once again. He has a few ghosts. I think he landed like 1 EMP on the Archons. The Archons are the big damage dealers, and as they are now falling, I believe PtitDrogo's chances in this game may follow suit. That 4th Nexus is going to be taken down. There's not really a whole lot here left anymore for him. MarineLorD, off the back of a very good early game. This game dragged out a bit longer than I was expecting it to. PtitDrogo really made something of it.
He really did, considering how late his 3rd was, how bad everything was going for him. And, you know, if he looks back on this game and like goes on into this series, like, he can't be too disappointed considering how close it was and how far he was behind. Oh, I love this with the
really
ghosts.
Good use of the ghosts. That's just awesome.
It's dirty.
It's the kind of stuff wish I could do in my games. Good game.
GG.
MarineLorD takes the first map against PtitDrogo, an explosive start to our second best of 3.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been sat here just marveling at the game. Like, I really thought MarineLorD was going to stomp him with how that went early on. You know, a Reaper getting 3 probe kills, getting to scout the tech.
It's unheard of, really. Like, you don't, like, if you're playing on ladder, that's when you're like, okay, I'm totally going to wreck this guy. Like, I have such a huge lead, and then everything worked well for him. Like,
yeah, you may think like 3 probes, that doesn't sound like too big of a deal to me, Nathanius, but then you realize, like,
it's like, well,
each one of those probes, 40 minerals per minute from that moment on. So if you think that early on, that
it's like 25-minute game. If he loses those probes at the 6-minute mark, do the math on how many minerals they could have mined if they were alive for that next 17, 18 minutes.
That really rubs on you, and that really delays everything. And then the Widow Mine at the 3rd that managed to snipe not 1, but 2 Stalkers while delaying the 3rd as well. Then the drops in the base.
Yeah, the Widow Mines that picked off the stray units, too, really added insult to injury, I felt.
Right, yeah, you've really got to... like, even though MarineLorD was doing everything really good, you know, like, for the first 10 minutes or 12 minutes even, I was like,
I think the biggest,
MarineLorD's really sick.
Yeah, the biggest thing that you pointed out that I was a bit, you know, nervous myself on was how late he actually moved out his 3rd orbital. I feel like he could have established that base much quicker.
Right,
but, you know, with how active he was on the map, he obviously got trades that were good enough for him to make it work without that.
It was I mean, it was obvious that MarineLorD was doing a lot and being aggressive in a lot of places at the same time, and it worked out. But maybe moving that third would have been like the one improvement we could have said.
Yeah. Because it's not like he didn't do it because he didn't want to move the third out. He's just really focused on his micro. I'm sure if his attacks had been shut down sooner, he would have like looked home and been like, okay, let's take the third base like a minute or two sooner. So,
right. Yeah.
It's tricky. It looks like we're close to being loaded into game number 2 to Muslim. Vani Research Station.
Vani. Now, I'm a little surprised that this map didn't get vetoed.
By who?
The Protoss.
Okay.
I think it's a really good map for Terran these days.
Yeah, I like this map a lot. This is one of those maps I really like to see the Reaper expand into that mine drop that we were talking about.
I think it's a map where, let's say it gets to a 3-base situation. If the Protoss takes his natural, that's obviously very, very droppable. The opponent's main also is very, very droppable. So if we look behind the Protoss base, like a bit lower, down to the left and down to the right, this is all airspace where you can really dive into that mineral line.
Yeah.
And it's extremely exposed.
I've had some fun games, man. When you hide your medevacs there after you've done your harass and the Protoss wants to leave their base, and then you zip in from any one of the many open spots. It's very difficult to play defensively on. MarineLorD, though, looks like he's going to open up with a command center first. I can dig it.
Well, I mean, yeah, with that, with all those SCVs rallied, he's certainly going to go for that. And MarineLorD, he's actually quite a sturdy player. Like, he can do CC first, he can do Reaper openings. We saw that he whipped out that concussive shell build. I'm pretty sure he can just do, like, normal barracks builds where he gets stim normally. So, a player that can utilize quite a few builds in a matchup, he's automatically more scary because you have to wonder, hey, what's this guy going to do to me? PtitDrogo, also a player that can mix it up quite a bit. Well, I don't want to give too much away because I think it's a little unfair, but he's been a guy that's Stargated me, he's DT'd me, he's blinked me. He's done a whole array of builds. While I don't want to talk about what he does specifically, yeah, he's turning into a much better player against Terran. I knew that he had problems a while ago, but I think he's a player that's going to stick around for quite a while because he's getting more and more solid as each day goes by.
It's cool to hear, man. The way that the meta rolls around in StarCraft, being able to be that guy that can always fall back onto the standard play while still doing whatever's hip or fresh at that time, makes you quite a threat.
Did you see the qualifying video for PtitDrogo after when he was beating Snoot for WCS?
Oh, the one where he cheered?
Does he cheer?
I'm not 100% sure.
He's like playing the game and he's starting to win. He's in my Insanity house, and then he realizes he's winning, and he's like, "I can't believe this!" Like he can't believe it's happening to him. So what a lovely guy too to have in the scene.
It's always good you get to see these
emotion. It's good to see emotion.
So we want to feel like we're your friend. We want to know how you feel.
Yeah. I want to know how these guys feel. I don't want to just see like.
It's so much,
no emotion after they win or lose.
It's so much easier, I think, to cheer for a player when you really feel like you can get behind them because of stuff like that.
Certainly is. Second.
So the Nexus is on the way for PtitDrogo. Nothing crazy is really going on just yet. The Mothership Core is starting to bank up some energy. Straight to the third barracks before any gas is taken. So MarineLorD's playing this in about as standard, reserved way possible.
Very, very standard play, and I mean, soon we'll see a depot go down, and then the 2 gases following it up. What do we see here? Another robo by PtitDrogo. So, on this map, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that early Forge follow-up, purely because he's so nervous about drops.
Yeah.
Or so aware of drops, even. By the way, it was really nice that MarineLorD went for the 2 barracks to complete that wall off with a CC first build, because he was very worried about proxies.
Yep.
Or when I say very worried, it's to stop those zealots that just randomly start wandering into your base when you go for a CC first build. And on a map like this, where your expansion and main are defended by just one small ramp, you can get away with builds like this.
Yeah, that's actually a cool thing to point out, because I feel like, as someone that's been proxied a fair amount on this map, anybody tuning in, you get cheesed. CC first. You can actually be pretty safe against a lot of early aggressive plays if you wall off, especially with the first depot and 2 barracks.
Yeah, you can play very cheese-free while playing exceptionally greedy. definitely one of the safer builds, or one of the maps to do it safer on. And here, that forge goes down. And I believe this is purely because of how worried he is about drops on this map.
And he can still get the fast +1 armor if he wants and play standard out of this. But, you know, also to your point, Demuslim, PtitDrogo has also only been building stalkers again. It's just showing he wants to have these mobile units be on the map. He doesn't want to bank up any energy for either a potential hallucinated Phoenix later on, or also a force field in the case of a gateway, a barracks push like we saw on the last map.
Now, did PtitDrogo scout with a probe early on? Like, I see that there is no. So he had no idea. He had no idea.
He has no clue what's going on.
So he moved out on the map around like the 7-minute mark. So
that's actually funny that you. It's actually really cool that you mentioned that, because if he had moved out like that on the last map, he would have potentially lost all those stalkers to the Marauder.
Right, or at least one of them, you know. But like, I don't know the exact timing of the Widowmine drop, but if he was to move out like that, playing totally blind, that could have been. He could have been in a lot of trouble, unless he timed it so perfectly that by the time he gets back to his base, that's when the Marine or the Widowmine drop happens. Either one. Yeah, unusual.
Well,
ooh, the Observer snipe.
I'm not surprised to see that. Killing Observers seems to be one of those things on MarineLorD's checklist every day when he wakes up.
MarineLorD was a professional GoldenEye player. Very good at sniping. Very good at shooting people. He wasn't actually a professional GoldenEye player. I think MarineLorD was probably not born when that game came out.
How old is he?
He's like 18, 19 years old. Quite a youngster.
This is your, you know, I'm not supposed to have that feeling like people are younger than me, Ben. I feel old when you say that, because
you feel old, Nathan?
People tell me I'm like crazy young, but I know GoldenEye.
Do you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so you know GoldenEye, but not Zlatan.
I grew up with I had two brothers, man.
Oh.
N64.
Okay,
split screen, and that was.
So you knew of GoldenEye through. Oh.
No,
so
I played it.
Okay,
dude, come on.
Just making sure. Just making sure.
My dad did one thing right when it came to my childhood, the games.
But you don't know Zlatan still.
I've learned who Zlatan is.
Can you hum the tune of the commercial he's in?
No.
Well,
he's moving some units across the map, Ben. The
okay.
Protoss is trying to take a third.
Very speedy Marine to start running across the map.
Is he as fast as Zlatan?
No, Zlatan's God, man.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Like, just to talk about Zlatan a little bit, he was asked to pick like his perfect team. So he picked players, like the best players of everything. And then for the striking position, because he's a striker, he picked him, and he was like, because I'm the best. And it was like, oh, you're very humble, aren't you?
That's pretty badass.
Because he's not humble at all. This was nice, by the way. He saw where the observer was. So he picked up and flew over to the right. Then he sniped it. Then he loads back. So he wants his opponent to have his army out of position for when he's about to move in on this third. That was very smart play by MarineLorD. Scans it, though. Kind of gives away that he wants to deal damage here.
Yeah, PtitDrogo didn't move his army too far out of position, and he's going to throw the Time Warp, pop the Guardian Shield, and move in on this army. A solid defense. And his third base will finish. This is a nicely... I'd say this is a nicely timed third for the Protoss, considering that MarineLorD is now mining off of his third base.
The thing for Protoss in general, by the time the Terran, like usually with a build like this, by the time a Terran's floating over to that third / lands their third, you want to be at least starting your third. But don't worry about like overcommitting and stuff as a Protoss or trying to rush out a third. As long as you go by that rule, you're actually in pretty okay shape. So the fact that PtitDrogo actually has his mining not too long after the Terran, PtitDrogo's looking pretty okay.
Yeah.
But he's so vulnerable to drops, but you know, he realizes that, and he's got a few well-placed observers on the map, so he can kind of see like, hey, where's my opponent moving? And he has to make some deductions here as to like, I think he's here, is he possibly here? We see something moving out onto the map for PtitDrogo in a position, so it's a Zealot, so you know, he's playing very cautiously. He doesn't want to get attacked, because as long as he's in position, he's going to be fine.
Yeah, this Zealot just wants to spot, see whatever's coming his way. He sees that army, he kills the Zealot, and immediately loads everything up, and he's going to fly over this pylon. No.
What?
Whoa. Oh.
He dodged it. He dodged it. Okay. But, I mean, look at this blue blob.
Watching that from our perspective was pretty funny.
Yeah, the blue blob. So he sees
Yeah,
him.
you don't want to fly into that. That's death.
Look at this. Oh, he's going... Whoa. He's going for it. He's
a madman.
He's kind of going to get sandwiched by 2 armies
I
here.
mean, at this point, if you just ran through, chased on all the stalkers, then I think...
in good shape.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sick if he could kill those. And PtitDrogo realizes that. He backs up. He gets the hell out of there. I think he's just got to load up and run away.
This Colossus... Oh, the full one did get sniped there, so... Really nice defensive play by
At the same time, he
PtitDrogo.
ran into the third base. It looks like a couple of units triggered a Fujinuba charge.
Oh, one thing to note there too, he actually focus fired the probes there, so he shift-clicked to Q while doing stuff on the other side of the map. So that shows quite good mouse accuracy and confidence there.
Not too bad. That was a very expensive drop from MarineLorD.
I think he could have got out there probably a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I don't know if that was what he... I think once the stalkers blinked away, that would have been... You could have saved pretty much all of it, but he only killed like 1 of the Colossi during that. Like, there's still a pretty strong army for PtitDrogo on the map.
Oh, he did fly by this pylon here, so realizes and he's like, okay, I'll take that out. Whoa, 4 mines in this drop. So PtitDrogo knows what's in this drop. Okay, so that's not a case of just needing like a Colossi available. You just need stalkers to try and snipe those medevacs as soon as possible.
Yeah, he's going to be looking to get the explosions on these probes to kill them quite fast. He's getting ready to move in towards that
like
main, and he's got an army outside the third too.
Yeah, like if he saw that drop had just bio in, healing with just stalkers, like if that drops, you're going to lose the stalkers. But the fact that he knows like it's mainly mines, he can rely on just having stalkers in position. But here, the drop is going to go down.
Yep, the Widow Mines are burrowing now too. Is he going to target fire onto the probes? Yep.
Oh,
nice.
Wow. The demolition.
Big hits on those probes of PtitDrogo.
Wow, so with trades like that, you're definitely going to find your way into this game. How many Vikings does he have back at home?
He's maxed out. Jeez.
These upgrades from PtitDrogo are very insane. He's getting Storm now too. Ooh, that drop will fall. Ghost Academy. He's got his 4th done, actually. Hasn't floated it over yet. There we are. He's going for the gold.
Ooh.
Ballsy. Nathanius, ballsy.
I think when you have this many forces out on the map, and I think this map in particular, like the way that Protoss in general works, unless they're looking to attack you at a timing, then... I think getting away with this is pretty smart.
I'm just a little surprised that he made it on the left side when he could have just made it as natural.
Yeah, he could have.
Yeah, just efficiency-wise. But what's happening here in the production tab? We have a Ghost on the way, more Vikings, 2-2 almost finishing. So if there was a timing attack that MarineLorD could utilize here, it'd probably be these 4 Ghosts and that 2-2 finishing up.
Yeah, it's actually not a terrible idea. Like, it's a small window, though, because 3-3 is coming close. But imagine...
I mean, it's a very small window that he has to work with, but, you know... Oh, they don't make great movies about huge windows that people have to like make the most of. You know, it's like Gone in 60 seconds. 60 seconds, man.
Yeah. If the movie was called like Gone in 60 Days, it's like, man, you know.
Yeah.
You got a couple. You know, we're gonna give you, a couple months to figure out how you want to move these cars out.
That's not epic. Gone in 60 seconds. Gone in 6 seconds. Like, it just gets more epic. Like, the more you divide it by 10. But here. Looks like MarineLorD is going to try and take advantage of that small window we talked about. Ooh!
Yeah, well, this army is so bunched up. A couple storms will be thrown out, but completely whiff on this Terran army.
That was a very aggressive blink by PtitDrogo as well, and he's out of storms now. And MarineLorD's army, while it's being kind of bruised and battered by those storms, it's still looking pretty strong with lots of EMPs available too.
Yeah, most of that army is still at green or yellow health, so it's not too bad. Oh, that storm wasn't... He actually dodged that one pretty well, and the Vikings are going to pick off all the Colossi. I think this is a
meat grinder of
Protoss. You know, the biggest thing I noticed is no charge.
Wow, that was huge.
You know, normally 3-3 zealots are the bane of existence, but those storms are actually quite good. But I think there's still so much left over.
Too little, too late, Nathanius. Too little, too late.
Wow, the difference between zealots with and without charge is just disgusting. These things suck without it against a max force like this.
These are like snails, man.
Yeah. I don't want no snails in my army.
We're joining the fight as fast as we can.
I'm coming. Like, no.
I'm going to run away, I think. I mean, like, this is with concussive shelling combined, but...
Yeah.
You know, you get the gist.
Yeah, those upgrades are normally meant to offset each other. So, that's all the worse for our French Protoss player as MarineLorD continues to push in. He's going to be looking to take a 2-0 here and go up to face off against Serral as PtitDrogo is going to continue to warp in and try to stave this off. I just feel like there's too much momentum coming down for the Terran.
I don't see that. I don't see how PtitDrogo is going to be able to get an army together that can beat this anytime soon. I mean, he's got a decent bank, sure, but I mean, third under pressure now, violent pressure too. Oh, the Colossi.